there are two major assets in life. When taken away from you, can never be recovered. You lose them forever. What are these assets? One is time, and the other one is your life, tied to health, good health. So when you lose your life, or you lose your health, or your time, you cannot recover these. So I'm going to share with you 7 life-changing tips for good health and longevity. Background. Let me tell you a bit of my background. And I'm gonna say, I'm one of you. I'm okay. When the committee was looking for somebody who was coming to give this talk today, so they decided to look inward, and they said, okay, you are a doctor, so go ahead and do it for us. So I'm a medical doctor by training. I also have a master's degree in public health. Yeah, kudos to my sisters over there who are in public health too. I also have a master's degree in healthcare administration. So what do? I'm a public health physician. I practice occupational safety and environmental medicine. So why do I do what I do? So I do what I do because what I believe is that to tackle human health crisis, we have to look into the communities. We have to look at the people. Go to the foundation. So we have to solve human health crisis at the community level, even at workplaces, right? So when I was in medical school, a lady came to the hospital to see us. Very big lady, overweight, right? So she was diagnosed with hypertension, pre-diabetes, and so the doctor decided, okay, I'm not going to put you on medication. This is what you're going to do. Go back, go and have exercise, do exercise, change your lifestyle, change your food, what you eat, and let's see you back in 2 weeks, right? So after 2 weeks, she came back to the hospital, to the clinic. When she came back, guess what?
She increased the weight.
Her numbers got worse. The doctor asked her, what happened? Did you do what I asked you to do? She said, no. What? Okay, did you do exercise? She said, yes. What kind of exercise? She said, I was doing horse riding. So we started laughing. Horse riding? At that time, so what did the doctor do? He proceeded in giving her medication. Okay, so I'm going to write you some prescriptions. Go home and start these prescriptions. Is that supposed to be so? Then it was done on me that doctors know what to do. Doctors know what is wrong. Even the patients know what to do. But doctors don't know how to make people do what they're supposed to do. We don't know that. Doctors don't know that. That's the problem. So that's why lifestyle changes. We have to look at the community. We have to look at individuals differently, holistically, in treating them. So that's what drives me. My people, communities, making sure that people live healthy is what drives me. Next slide, please. So the pictures you see here, on the right is my father. On the left is my grandmother. So my grandmother lived more than 100 years ago. My father died before he got to 6 years. So you see the baby he was carrying there, that baby was less than 1 year old. His last child before he passed away. So he never lived to see his children graduate from colleges, to reap, to benefit from his efforts, right? And my grandmother lived for more than 100 years. So this made me begin to wonder, think deep, do some researches. What was the difference? What made the difference, right? Is it because she's a woman? And this is a man? Are there differences? What happened, right? So sometimes we need to think deep into these things. What made some people live so long and healthy, and the other group don't do better? So these are the things that drove me to start looking for answers, right? And so I found out some interesting, answers, that I will share with you today. Next slide, please. This is a very thought-provoking quote. I love this quote so much. So that's why I put it here, by Dalai Lama. He said, man sacrifices his health in order to make money. Then he sacrifices money at the end of the day, to take care of his health. And then he is so anxious about the future that he does not enjoy the present. Most of us do not live in the present. The result being that he does not live in the present or the future. So he lives as if he is never going to die. And then he dies. Never actually lived. So that is the case of many people today. In this rat race that we are on today, this journey called life, many people live like they're not going to die. They sacrifice your health looking for this money. They get the money. So at the end of the day, they spend the money also to look after their health. So when I see this quote, it makes me to think twice about how we should be taking care of ourselves. Next slide, please. Okay. Now, in the medical field, there has been some advancement all the time, from the gene theory to many, medical advancement. But recently, in 2010, authorities found that, okay, if we do something, we could prolong people's life, right? So they found that if you avoid certain risk factors, right, you will cut down cardiovascular events by half. And cardiovascular diseases kill more people than the next top leading cause of death combined. So, what are these risk factors? Tobacco, alcohol, inactivity, overweight, too much meat and sugar, high blood pressure, and cholesterol. So, if you take care of the first five, from number 1 to 5, we don't have to worry about 6 and 7, because that will take care of high blood pressure and cholesterol. So, authorities came together in 2010. World Health Organization, American Heart Association, and European Society of Cardiology, they came together and decided that, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to promote lifestyle changes, especially in diet. What is the type of lifestyle change they want to promote? They say, okay, vegetarian kind of food is best. That is what's going to take care of all of this. If we avoid these 7 risk factors, we will lower diabetes by 88%. We will lower strokes and heart attack by 80%. That's a huge number. And that when you lower these, generally life will be prolonged. Okay? They did a research in California, Loma Linda in California precisely. They found that certain population, people who, especially the vegetarian population, the Adventist population, they found that the vegetarian population have 47% higher chance of living up to 100 years compared to the general population. The general population was only 19%. Documented research. So the authorities say, okay, let's promote this. Let's go into the communities. Let people, eat vegetarian type of diet. This will help people live longer. But the American community, they revolted against it, and they changed it and say, okay, what is going to happen is eat less meat. So don't let your diet shouldn't be more than 5 to 6% saturated fat. So let vegetables be more of your diet, right? So what that means is that if you start eating or make vegetarian type of diet your regular food, you will avoid these risk factors. Okay. So I'm going to give you some tips right, that will help us take care of all of these risk factors. So let's play some game here. Okay? Any person who gets this right will win an award from me. Okay. So I have 5 items here. I have alcohol, I have gin, I have soda, junk food, and cigarette. Which of these do you think has the greatest impact on your health?
Alcohol.
Negative or positive?
Yeah.
Negative or positive?
Cigarette. I said
What?
Negative impact or positive?
Price. Negative. Greatest negative impact.
Negative.
It's Jack.
Okay, so you said soda,
The cigarette.
cigarette, okay. I got my answer. But I got my answer. Yeah. Oga Kingsley got the answer. This is something they never tell you. The chair. This chair has the greatest negative impact on your body. I'm going to explain to you. Yeah. So let's appreciate easily. Yeah. But why chair? Why is that? So
Inactivity.
So my first point is get off the chair. Get off the chair. Okay? Research shows that people who sit for more than 6 hours a day are more likely to die before people who sit for less than 4 hours. Yeah, that's research is proven, right? So I told you here one of the risk factors is inactivity. When we sit for a long time, our body is not designed to sit. God never designed this body for sitting. He designed this body for standing, walking. That's why your legs are, half of your body. Your legs, half of your body. So when we sit for a long time, we expose ourselves to lots of risks. One of them is back pain. In America, 80% of the population are suffering from some kind of, back pain, right? I don't know if this video can play. So this man, Dr. Schaffenberg, did the research and found that if you do 1 hour of exercise, walking, will prolong your life for 3 hours. 1 hour of exercise adds 3 hours of life to your life expectancy. Very great research he did. So can you see that video can play? It's not playing. Okay. All right. Okay. Next slide, please. Right. So if you sit for a long time, especially more than 6 hours, low back pain. You suffer from low back pain, and that's very uncomfortable. So ask someone, ask your parents, ask people who have back pain. They will tell you what it is. Right. 2, liver diseases. Right. So when you sit for a very long time, your muscles do not utilize the glucose you have in your blood. What happens? Your body will begin to store those glucose as fat in your liver. Over time, you develop liver disease, fatty liver. Okay, and diabetes. So diabetes, idle muscle do not respond to insulin. So the way our body works is that insulin is what drives glucose into the tissues, into our cells, right? That's what is called GLUT4. GLUT4 is a transporter that is being released to help insulin, glucose enter your body. But when you sit down, your muscles do not know how to use insulin. You have to stand up, you have to walk for your muscles to release GLUT4 for glucose to enter your body. So that will predispose you to diabetes if you sit for a prolonged time, if you don't exercise. This is the fourth one, saggy buttocks, is not proven by research. but there is a conversation that when you sit for a long time, because you compress your gluteal vessels, the vessels, blood vessels that supply your gluteal muscles, after a long time, especially when you are getting older, you have saggy buttocks. Who would like to have a saggy buttocks? All right. Okay. So, for you to live long and live in good health, get off the chair. That's tip number one. Number two, food. Eat proper food. So you know the blue zones, right? The blue zones, Loma Linda, Okinawa, Japan. Those people live, most of their diets are based on proper food. So food like strawberries, all the berries. Even we have our native beer, that Nigerian beer. Beetroot, they contain chemicals, polyphenols that are good for your body, good for the blood vessels. They make the blood vessels, soft for blood to flow, right? So make sure majority of your diet is proper food, right? Yeah. So I also want to talk about the power of nitric oxide. We know that nitric oxide helps with blood pressure, right? So take advantage of all the food that are rich in nitric oxide. I usually find options, to make my Nigerian food healthy. Recently, I have started making food, with beef and vegetables, right? I blend cauliflower, carrot, beets, blend it and use it to make fufu. You can see that's an example there. That's my fufu there. If you see on top, that's my okra soup, right? So be creative sometimes to make your food healthy. That's the way to go. So food that has nitric oxide is very, very important in reducing your blood pressure. Let me shock you. How many people use mouthwash? So God is perfect in His creation. He put nitric oxide, right? Nitrate in our body. So to help us with blood pressure, so that our blood pressure will be normal. So there are normal flora, bacteria in our body that convert nitrate to nitric oxide to help in blood pressure. Most of the bacteria, the oral bacteria, most of them live in the mouth, something like that. There are oral bacteria responsible for converting nitrate to nitric oxide. When we use mouthwash regularly, all the time, especially alcohol-based mouthwash, we kill off those oral microbiome. Research has shown that people who chronically use mouthwash all the time, over time their blood pressure will start to rise. Why? Because they have killed off their oral microbiome and no oral bacteria that will produce nitric oxide. So I'm not telling you not to use mouthwash, but be careful how you use them. Don't be addicted. Don't use in the morning, afternoon, at night. Okay? That's a recent research. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay. Have the proper diet. Like I said before, vegetarian type of diet is very good for you. So if you can, make sure that you eat different varieties of vegetables, especially the avocados. Avocado is very good in healthy fat. Add avocados all the time to your diet. So if you eat the proper diet, do not avoid ordering food at the restaurant all the time, because you don't know what they're adding to the food. You don't know the salt content. You don't know the type of oil. But when you cook your own food, you know what you're eating. Make your own healthy choices. right? And there's a research that shows that people who order food outside, right, their blood work are always, out of whack. So if you cook for yourself all the time, you know what you're putting in your body. Next slide, please. So I put this here to show you my recent blood work, right? So because I want to highlight the importance of cholesterol. When I was eating anyhow, buying food, eating lots of palm oil, right? When I do my blood work, my cholesterol level was always high, somehow, fluctuating my numbers. So I changed my diet and started using beets and vegetables to blend my fufu because I love fufu a lot. So it made a difference. So this is my most recent blood work. You can see cholesterol. So when you go to a doctor, they do your blood work. The doctor tells you, oh, your cholesterol is good. That's not enough. You have to know the numbers. You have to know the details. For your LDL cholesterol is very important for the men. That's what kills men. High LDL is the precursor for heart attack for men. But for the women, it's the triglycerides. Triglyceride is what matters for the women. So if your triglyceride is high, you have to watch it. So always ask. Let the doctor give you more details about your cholesterol level. That's important. That's right. The reason I put this slide here is because we Africans, we love oil. Africans love oil, especially palm oil. Okay, but our body, oil is important in our body, right? Fat. Our body needs fat to survive, to live, right? But we have good fat and bad fat. So I want to talk about fat in your body, fat in your blood. Okay. So see the red, all the red lines, the red columns. That's the bad oil, bad fat, saturated fat. You need to avoid food that are very high in saturated fat, right? Not telling you not to eat them completely, but sparingly. The highest of them that's worse in saturated fat is coconut oil, and very, very, very little has a very little content of unsaturated fatty acid. The monosaturated and polyunsaturated, those are the things that are essential. Our body needs them to survive, to live, but we can't make it. Our body does not make them. So we need them from our food for us to live, and we get them from this food. Second in that bad oil is water. Palm oil, that's what I was going to. Palm oil, you see, palm oil has 49% of saturated fat. We use palm oil a lot to eat every day to cook our food, right? Some people, think that palm oil is very good. Yeah, palm oil is very good because of the vitamin A. It has lots of vitamin in it, right? Especially vitamin A. But when you do the risk-benefit analysis, the saturated nature of palm oil, outweighs the benefit. So let us be careful in the quantity of palm oil that we use. I'm not saying that we shouldn't use palm oil. Be careful, but make sure that you get a lot of the ones in yellow and blue. The canola oil. So canola oil has lots of monounsaturated oleic acid. Safflower, flaxseed, sunflower, olive oil. These are good oil. So just a quick snapshot of oil in our diet. So any question on this section? Next slide. Right. Tip number 4, skip the meal. We've been told that we have to eat 3 square meals a day. Our body is under stress all the time when it has to work hard to process and digest food all the time, right? So sometimes you give your body rest. Let your body heal naturally, by skipping the meal. And there's a popular method that people are using currently, which is the 16-8 rule. 16-8 rule. For those of us who will be able to do that, I encourage you to do that. So 16-8 rule meaning, so your last meal should be around 8 p.m. Don't eat anything after 8 p.m. and go to bed. Then the next time you eat is 12 noon. So by that time you will have fasted for 16 hours. From 12 noon to 8 p.m., eat all you want. That eat all you want. So the reason is because when you fast, when you give your body rest, time to rest, the cells will heal itself. They will have time to heal. Think about the machine generator that is on at the time, all the time. Your machine generator is on all the time, right? Burning. So that's what happens to your body. If it has presence of food all the time, it continues to burn, so that it will digest food. And meanwhile, your blood sugar level will continue to spike up and down. It's not steady. Because you're constantly feeding it food. If you want to live long and good health, sometimes skip the meal. Next slide. Get adequate sleep. Sleep is very important for your health. So I have, as an adult, there is a minimum hours of sleep per day for your body to recover, okay? Which is 7 to 8 hours as an adult. So different age group have their different recommended hours. So always make sure you get enough rest, get enough sleep. During sleep, there is an increased blood flow to your brain. Your brain releases those cytokines that will mop up all the bad stuff, right, that are poisoning your body. Okay, so free radicals. So it is during sleep that your body will recover, clean up your brain cells, and you wake up the following morning refreshed. But if you don't sleep enough, you won't have a refreshed body. So I want to summarize with this. It's about having a positive attitude to life. Okay, life happens to everyone. So when life happens, it puts stress on our bodies. There is a direct correlation between stress and health. Though we need some level of stress to be alive. When the stress is chronic, your body will go into an attack mode. Your body will constantly release chemicals called catecholamines, right? Which will raise your blood pressure. Is on a stress mode. It's not good for you. This will have impact on your heart, on your kidneys, on your liver, every organ in your body. Your eyes will begin to dim as you get older. So, attitude to life is very important. It's not so much about stress. It's how you deal with the stress.